This video might stir up some controversy. Hello and welcome back to Tricolor Gaming with me, Fletcher. And in today's video, I'm going to detail 10 reasons why I think Jurassic Park 3 is a better movie than either Fallen Kingdom or Dominion. Let's jump straight in, and at the end, let me know in the comments if you agree with my list or disagree. Number 1. The premise makes sense. Jurassic Park 3's premise is outrightly very simple from the start, a story that is borderline cliche in cinema and TV. Two parents, previously divorced, have come together to rescue their child who has gone missing on a dangerous island. To succeed, they hire a group of mercenaries and an expert on the island. It's a simple story that makes perfect sense, and the motivations of everyone involved are clear. The parents want their child back, the hired hands want their money. Of course, everything immediately, almost instantly goes wrong, but the initial premise is clear, and even after everything goes wrong, finding their child and escaping the island is still the driving motivation. Number 2. The Raptors. The Raptors are amongst Jurassic Park's best antagonistic dinosaurs, and Jurassic Park 3's Raptors are the best they have ever been. Their design is iconic, with the males sporting this purple-black back, red facial markings, and primitive feathers, the first time Jurassic Park's dinosaurs veered closer to real-world science. The females have this white and black striped pattern, distinguishing them from the males, which serves an important story point later on. Not only is the design of the raptors great, but the film also made use of some very good looking animatronics made by Stan Winston for the close-up shots, and I would argue that they are superior to the animatronics seen in Dominion. These animatronics were more powerful than previous movies, even having the ability to blink, and were reportedly so powerful they were borderline dangerous. Not only do the raptors look great, but they also maintained their deadly intelligence. This is another plot point that is woven through the story. Starting with Alan Grant talking to Ellie about it, we then later see the 3D printing of a vocal resonator. Further into the film, we get to see this hyper-intelligence of the raptors, which work together to hunt the humans, lay traps, and call for help. The film almost serves to provide Alan Grant with very clear evidence of all the theoretical behaviour and intelligence he explains to Ellie at the start of the movie. They are never, ever depicted as some sort of loyal pet, nor were they depicted as having some sort of emotional connection to any human, nor able to understand some sort of agreement with a T-Rex. And that's how we bloody like them. Number 3. The Spinosaurus. Jurassic Park 3 moved away from the tired trope of the T-Rex being the obvious most dangerous dinosaur, instead giving us a brand new animal. The Spinosaurus has a massive presence in this movie. It takes direct offence to being hit with a plane, and spends the rest of the film being a danger to the cast. It's big and powerful, and demonstrates this throughout the film. It kills a juvenile T-Rex with ease, smashes up the aircraft that pissed it off so much, and breaks up a cheerful family moment by smashing through some pretty strong looking fencing. And its power makes perfect sense if we consider that this dinosaur has had to survive on an island full of potential threats. This Spinosaurus is a survivor of Isla Sorna, and it survived by being the biggest, meanest carnivore around. Not only that, but the Spinosaurus adds an unknown and dangerous element to a critical survival situation. Alan Grant knows all about the Rex and the Raptors from his experience on Isla Nublar, and therefore knows what he can expect from them. But this creature is totally new. It's not on any InGen list. He has no idea how this animal is going to behave, how it might hunt, or what its weaknesses might be. It's the perfect unknown bad guy. And of course, there is the fact that it's given far more screen time and moments to shine than the main bad guy dinosaurs of the Jurassic World films. It has more presence and danger than the Indorex or the Indoraptor, and easily outshines the Giga in its Dominion appearance. And it did all this without needing silly superpowers, such as talking to raptors, making itself invisible, or changing its thermal output. It also survived the movie, unlike any of the evil creatures in the Jurassic World films. Number 4. Survival. Jurassic Park 3 is also one of the few films without a human antagonist. Unlike Fallen Kingdom, which gave us a substandard villain who was just after money, and Dominion, which gave us a terrible parody of Apple complete with eye locusts, Jurassic Park 3 didn't have any awful human villains. The purpose of the film is a survival story against the dangers and difficulties of an island full of dangerous creatures, and an island where they're alone without any help or backup. This makes for a better film in my eyes, as the driving goals of the villains in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion were pretty poor. In Jurassic Park 3, the villain is the situation. Number 5. The dinosaurs are just dinosaurs. One of my biggest issues with all the Jurassic World movies is that a lot of the dinosaurs in the films do not actually act like animals. They act like movie monsters. They function only as methods to chase the cast from one scene to another, often only showing up for that particular moment. For example, the Pyroraptor and Quetzalcoatl scenes in Dominion only exist to chase the cast to where they need to be for the next encounter. In numerous parts of those movies, dinosaurs also act with human levels of intelligence or emotion. The raptors like Blue are a clear sign of this, and the strange relationship between her and Owen. Meanwhile, in Jurassic Park 3, the dinosaurs all act like animals. For example, the raptors for the most part hunt their prey and use their intelligence. And the reason for hunting down the humans is clear. The humans have stolen their eggs. Just like the Kirby's, the male and female raptor pursue their young in an attempt to rescue them. And if you're liking this list so far, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe for more content from all of us at Triclaw Gaming. Number 6. Alan Grant. Alan Grant is still in his prime here, and unlike Dominion, where his presence gets overruled by Ellie and Owen, in this movie he's our action hero dad figure. Not only is he our resident dinosaur expert, but he is far more serious than his replacement in the Jurassic World films, that of Grady. It is also clear that events on Isla Nublar left him with long-term side effects. Not only is his opinion of Jurassic Park pretty firm, as a place that grew fairground monsters, but it's clear that he still has PTSD over the raptors. How do we know this? Well, first, his facial response to hearing the vocalizer for the first time. You see his face change and drop, a feeling of unease and anxiety crossing it. There is also that infamous dream that, while ripped on for its comic effect, also highlights long-standing psychological issues. He is also quite blunt and clear about the group's chances of survival from the very start, stating that he thinks it's very unlikely any of them will make it off the island alive. And while he finds the Kirbys difficult to be around, his character has clearly mellowed towards children, a trait that resulted from his experiences in the first movie. Upon locating the Kirby's missing kid, not only does he appear far more comfortable in conversation with him, there's also the hint of respect when he learns everything the kid has done to survive. It demonstrates a character that has grown since the first movie. Number 7. The settings. Jurassic Park 3 takes place on Isla Sorna, but must take place in a different area to that of the Lost World. While much of the film takes place in jungle, there are two clear areas that stand out to me. The first is the old abandoned genetic laboratory, an opportunity for the film to revel in some referential nostalgia. We hear familiar musical notes and see those familiar incubation areas as well as eggs and embryos. We also get further insight into Alan Grant's view on the dinosaurs after all of this time, as he states that this was where InGen played God. The whole place is made extra creepy by the pickled embryos in tubes, which reminded me of something out of Resident Evil. Of course, this also ends in one of the set piece chases, as the raptors hunt down the group, which brings back memories of the raptors hunting down the original cast through the visitor centre. The second key area for me is the bird cage. I'll be talking more about this area in a second, but the cage itself is a wonderful set piece area full of pteranodons. The old gantries and walkways lend a sense of height to the area, and while the pteranodons act a little too much like monsters for me, attacking with sheer rage, we could argue that due to the presence of their young, they are acting hyper-defensive. While Fallen Kingdom has the mansion and Dominion the Malta Black Market and the Biosyn building, I would argue they don't quite have the same resonance as the areas in Jurassic Park 3. Number 8. Levity. Jurassic Park 3 has humour, and I would argue humour that works far better than any Fallen Kingdom or Dominion humour. While the original film was mostly serious past the halfway point, it is worth remembering the lighter moments. Alan scaring the daylights out of the kid at the start with his raptor impression, his later avoidance of Tim and his incessant questioning. There's also the various humorous exchanges between Ian and Alan. Jurassic Park 3 features various elements of fun and humour as well. Alan Grant's ability to be blackmailed into things with money, the Kirbys themselves, especially the Dr. Grant says that's not a good idea scene. While the film is able to maintain its serious nature for the most part, these moments of humour help the film to be more like the original, and the humour feels natural. The Kirbys' total lack of awareness of the situation comes from ignorance, such as calling out on megaphones or being unable to smash open a vending machine, but also stems from a desire to rescue their son at any cost. Meanwhile, in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, the humour often comes across as more slapstick. For example, the excessively screaming Franklin in Fallen Kingdom was played for laughs, but it doesn't really fit. Then we have the Indoraptor, which grins at the camera, again for humour, when it kills the teeth collector. The Sticky Moloch charging down the bidders at the auction, and then in Dominion we have such funny things like the girls complaining about the bugs in the server room. None of it seems very natural, nor made me laugh or even smile. Instead, it felt forced in. Number 9. The new animals. Unlike Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic Park 3 treated all its creatures with more respect. It didn't need to try to cram dozens of species into the film. Instead, it focused on a far smaller cast of animals, each of which got its moments to shine. I have spoken about the Spinosaurus and the Raptors already in detail, so let's consider the others. The Pteranodons get quite a bit of screen time as the group struggles through the birdcage. In fact, I believe they get more screen time than the Quetzalcoatlus does in Dominion. And while the Quets seem to be only on screen to provide something large enough to knock a plane out of the sky, and even for that purpose they had to oversize it in the movie, the Pteranodon's presence is a genuine threat the group must overcome. Then we have the Ceratosaurus in its first and only on-screen presence in the films. Not only was this a brand new animal, but it was given such a distinctive and memorable look. Not to mention, while it was within eyesight of the group, it didn't just straight up attack them like it would have done in Fallen Kingdom. In fact, in Fallen Kingdom, dinosaurs deliberately stop during a stampede and volcanic eruption to attack the humans, something that just doesn't seem to make sense at all with the rest of the surrounding panic. And the Cerato does seem to have quite a fan following. We also have the return of the Brachiosaurus. In one of the most relaxed and majestic scenes of the movie, we get to see its new and far more colourful design. And while I know much of the fan base prefers the original movie's design, I vastly prefer its Jurassic Park 3 look. It has colour and pattern and stands out far more than the basic brown original model. The film treats its dinosaurs not as disposable monsters like Fallen Kingdom and Dominion does, nor does it treat them as nostalgia bait, nor does it introduce more and more creatures just to chase the cast to the next conversation. Each use of its animals is careful, just like the original movie. Number 10. The atmosphere. This for me is one of the biggest reasons why this film is far better than Fallen Kingdom or Dominion. Jurassic Park 3 nails the atmosphere every step of the way. There are various ways it does this. For example, we have the brilliant birdcage environment. The whole place is filled with deep fog that makes figuring out what they had walked into very difficult. There is a sense of growing danger as the group discovers more and more strange things, such as the droppings on the railings. It's only when Grant looks up to see the bars of the cage above through the fog that he understands, by which point we watch that first Pteranodon slowly walk out of the mist ahead. The whole thing builds a sense of tension and foreboding atmosphere that really works. Another example is the final fight with the Spinosaurus. which takes place on a river during a storm at night. The dinosaur approaches through the water, hidden by the rain and the darkness, until it attacks. The nighttime fight is even more terrifying, and the use of fire to drive it off becomes more visually impressive. The nostalgic and sad abandoned genetics lab, the childlike wonder as the plane flies over the island to the tune of Arrival at the Island, even the ending in the plane with the pteranodons flying away through the clouds to a graceful and majestic theme tune. It really is very good at creating atmosphere. The film also has the advantage and makes full use of its island location. It and the various environments used in the film helps to establish a close, tight, claustrophobic environment just like the original movie. This again helps to maintain the sense this is a dangerous survival situation that the movie is going for. Compare this to Dominion, which has very few really tense claustrophobic moments, save apart from the blind Therizinosaurus scene. Jurassic Park 3 is trying to be tense, atmospheric and close. Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, meanwhile, threw that out the window for the benefit of an action-heavy movie, completely ignoring what made the original movie great, its atmosphere. Well, that was 10 reasons why I think Jurassic Park 3 is a better movie than Fallen Kingdom or Dominion. Let me know in the comments what you think about Jurassic Park 3 and the points I've raised. While you're there, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe for more content from all of us at Triclaw Gaming. Until the next video, stay safe and goodbye.